Welcome back. Now, the City of Cape Town's fire and rescue services have been battling a blaze at the National Assembly building in the Parliament Precinct. Let's now cross to our reporter in Cape Town, who's at the scene, Atule Joka. Atule, a very good morning to you. What is the latest regarding that fire in the Parliament Precinct, and have you been able to establish what is the cause of that fire?
Well, good morning, Lebu. Well, I can tell you certainly now the cause of the fire is not known yet, but it is known that it started in the office space. But what you see behind me is the office, is the National Assembly legislature. This is where the laws are passed. This is where the president is elected. This is where also members of the executive hold each other accountable and also hold debates as to how the country will move forward. The fire is ripping through this building now. As you see behind me, a thick smoke is filtering through the skies. This is the National Assembly Lebu. It is up in smoke. The members of the National Fire and Rescue Services were called earlier on in the morning at 5 a.m. to come and try to extinguish the blaze that started here before it could spread through. And then when they came, we are told that it was the members of the Roland Emergency Services team who came through to try and extinguish this fire. But upon assessment, they could see that the fire was raging, it was intense, and they had to call for assistance for some of the members of the rescue services to come and intervene. At about 8 a.m. this morning, we knew that there were 6 firefighting appliances that were deployed here. That meant 36 firefighters were here at about 8 a.m. We still see more fire rescue team services still coming here. They were trying to make sure that they extinguish the blaze which is ripping through the National Assembly of South Africa. This is the most significant building here in South Africa. It's premium. It's where members of the parliament elected by the South African democratically come here to discuss and pass laws. It is now up in smoke. As you see now, that thick smoke is also making sure that the building is not visible at this moment. We understand that the fire also went through to the third floor. It spread through to the gym assembly on the right. The National Rescue Services and Fire are trying to contain this fire level, but it seems like it will still be raging for some time on. It looks like we will be here maybe for the better part of today, because we understand more buildings are now affected. The fire is spreading through, ripping through the National Assembly and also some of the most important buildings in South Africa. Most of the areas are cordoned off. I'll also ask my colleague to just show you on the right that there's huge media interest. Most people came here in the morning after that announcement was made. As you can see, that is the vehicle of the Fire and Rescue Assessment team. More rescue services are coming, Lebu. I'll ask my colleagues if we can move over the road. That is a vehicle of Fire and Rescue Services. I'm sure something is alarming here, Lebu. More assistance is needed. More firefighters are being deployed here. Well, if you're not here now and you can see the intensity of the smoke, it is also becoming difficult to breathe. It is also suffocating to us. I'll ask my colleague if we can move mobilely to take off the camera so we can show you the 360 degrees of what is happening here. You see the media scramble, the congestion of the media, trying to get each and every bit of picture of what is happening around here. This is the main building. This is where normally the budget speech is taking place. This is where the State of the Nation address normally takes place. We know the roof was also on fire. More members of the Emergency and Fire Rescue Services are here to try and extinguish the blaze. And also my colleague Lula Mamaja is here. She works in this particular precinct. She will be able to tell us more about some of the buildings that she knows as someone who works here later on, because we understand the fire is also spreading through to the right to other buildings which are also significant. At that time we were told it was the gymnasium which the fire has spread it through. As you saw that action label of fire and rescue services vehicles coming through to try and provide support for the members of the fire and rescue services which are here on the ground.
Do you have any idea of,
Yes, Lebo.
earlier Jermaine Carroll's, the City of Cape Town's fire and rescue services, sent various crews from different fire stations or on scene trying to, contain the blaze. Have you seen any more of those fire vehicles returning since your arrival? And does it seem like the fire is bigger than, what we had initially seen? Because from earlier it was just the two buildings, NCOP building and the old assembly chamber. But from what you can see, are you seeing that the fire is spreading, to more buildings? Are you seeing more smoke from more buildings in that vicinity that you're in?
Well, yes, as you can see, Lebu, more action is happening here and more fire and rescue services vehicles are deployed here. Surely they are detecting something now. I'm sure as they try to contain the fire, it starts to spread in another area. I see the vehicle has been deployed to another side. I'll ask my colleague if he can move closer to that side to bring you and that action there. We see that vehicle is moving. I'm sure the fire has now spread to another area. We know that they called for assistance of firefighting appliances and rescue team services from Roland Street, from Sea Point, from Salt River, Brooklyn, Goodwood, Milnerton, which had come through to the scene. But it looks like now they are calling for more fire. We understand also more street closures are also happening around here, trying to cordon off for the safety of the people and the motorists. At that time, we knew that Plain Street, Roland Street, and Commercial and Barrack Street were closed. Added to that were Hope Street, St. John Street, Freda Street, Commercial Street, and Whittaker Street. Those are some of the streets which were closed to make sure that more motorists do not come and expose themselves. We see more fire and rescue team services coming in Lebu. The MACOM member for safety and security, JP Smith, is also making his way. He will have inside information. He said he will be here at 10 o'clock to give us more details about the fire. As you can see this side of the building, I'll kindly ask my colleague to come closer to this side so that you can see those raging flames that are going up in smoke in the roof of the assembly in this angle level. MACOM member for security services, JP Smith, is making his way here. He said he'll be here at 10 to give us details about the extent of the fire, about the certain appliances that they've deployed to come here, and the fire and rescue services teams which are on the ground, the extent of the damage and how they are trying to contain this fire. It looks like it is raging, as we saw that truck going to another side. I'm sure it is going to that side, which looks like the fire is now intense, it's raging. As we see that thick smoke going up in the air. The National Assembly of South Africa going up in smoke. National Legislature.
Right, Atule Joka.
I also tried to get in contact with the spokesperson of the National Assembly to tell us more about what does this mean and also the impact that it has had on the building and the processes and the proceedings of the National Assembly. We are following up the story. It looks like it is developing. We are seeing more fire and rescue services teams being deployed here, making their way here. National Assembly up in smoke. We will try and follow and give you and bring you up to speed with the details of what is actually happening around here, Lebu.
All right, Atule Joka, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll try and cross to you a little later on the program to see if any of the officials are there to give us an update on what is happening and how the extent of the fire in National Parliament. If you've just joined us, we were speaking to our reporter Atule Joka in Cape Town, and that is because some of the buildings are under threat in Parliament. Earlier it was the NCOP building and then the old Assembly building chamber that is in the Parliament Precinct in Cape Town, and that is the current story, the developing story at the moment. Atule Joka is our reporter in Cape Town. That report came in at around 8 o'clock, and then our reporter Atule Joka is on the scene trying to gather as much information as he can, and then we will try and give you as much as we also know, because as he said there, he's waiting for Parliament spokesperson to arrive. I imagine also Jermaine Carlson, who's the City of Cape Town's fire and blaze rescue services, will also arrive a little later. JP Smith is also expected to arrive any moment now. So as soon as that information is available, we will keep you updated regarding the huge blaze in the Parliament Precinct, and the buildings under threat at the moment is the NCOP building, the old Assembly chamber. That was a couple of minutes ago, but as according to our reporter Atule Joka, it may seem like there were more buildings on fire, and the fire is raging on because more fire trucks are going into that building. So we'll keep you updated on that. All right. In other news,